Hi everybody, my name is Taylor Green. I'm one of the audiologists here at Audiology Associates.
My name's Rhys Barber. I'm the other audiologist here at Audiology Associates. So this is actually my patient. Very, very narrow, tiny, teeny weeny ear canal, this one. Only just managing to get the standard size ulnar tube in here. And there's not a lot of wiggle room in there at all. But we can see a layer of keratin. Look at that. Not what you want to see right at the entrance to the canal if you've got a very narrow canal, is it that one?
You can almost kind of see through it as well, so you just know it's going to like whistle as soon as that starts to break apart a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm trying to bunch as much of it as I can now inside the tube, just to try and lift it off the base of the canal. The reason it's always awkward is if it's right at the entrance is because you barely got enough room to get the tube in as it is. You can see I can only just get the forceps in there. It means it's really difficult to remove because normally we peel keratin off the canal wall, but in this case we just can't peel it off because we just can't lift it off the canal wall that much just because of the lack of room in here. So we've got to pull it out instead.
It's breaking apart in little bits as well. Yeah. The forceps, always a pain.
Oh, look at that.
Where did that come from?
It almost looks like a little cocoon coming out, didn't it, when you look at it like that? Look at that.
Looks quite small, but quite big compared to the size of the ear canal.
Yeah, exactly. And then we can see a bit further in there. That looks a bit like more keratin to me. Yeah. See, this happens that you just try and get in there and it lifts up off the side of the canal wall. All that keratin, so it kind of jumps almost right up in front of the suction tube.
There we are, eardrum nice and clear behind it as well. That's good. Is
that going to come away though? I don't know if that is. I had a lady in the other day with an infected pinna. No, I've never seen an infected pinna before. But yeah, it was really, and she thought she suffered a little bit with eczema and stuff like that, but there was a bit of eczema. But the actual whole pinna was really kind of puffy and swollen up, and that was a difficult one to do.
You normally see it with like psoriasis and eczema. Yeah. It's still first thing in the morning, and I haven't opened my brain up yet. But yeah, we normally see like really inflamed, dry, but not so much.
No, the
swollen.
Whole outer section of the pinna was swollen. Yeah, there's bonkers. But again, I was starting to get this keratin away. There you go. I've had to resort back to the crocodile forceps in there though to get that out. Let's have a little look. You can see the visual here is really just. You can see, but you can only barely see what we need to get in to look at.
It's just one of those ones, you've got to try and hold it open.
Yeah, you've got it. I actually had a lady in yesterday who had really, really narrow entrance to the canal. And oh my goodness, there was keratosis obturans in it. That was a difficult one to do. I had to get Mrs. B in to hold the ear up and back for me just to get it out because it was so solid.
Same patient?
The same patient. Now, I think this is the patient with the infected pinna because you can see here, this is the patient with the infected pinna. So you can see how closed up that is. And it doesn't look like standard ear canal. It looks quite puffy, so like the white spots on it and everything. Yeah, so the whole...
see the swelling.
Yeah. So there was the whole outside. Now, it's such a... it was such an awkward thing for us to do anyway. And because, trying to get... you can't prescribe for these patients, unfortunately. We can't at the moment. They've got to go back to their GP. But unfortunately, this patient's been back before the GP quite a few times already. So we've had to send a letter back saying, look, I think this is not just your normal standard eczema. I think this is more of an infection. We were at a hearing aid launch the other day, and we were talking to a gent there about being able to prescribe. There is a prescriber course you can do, but it's very difficult because there's not many people out there that can mentor you because there's not many of them around. So it's kind of a catch-22. We'd really like to be able to do it, but the difficulty is trying to get onto a course and be mentored properly is really very, very difficult to try and do. So we can see now difficulty here, lots of keratin again.
That's quite a big piece of wax as well.
It
looks wider than the ear canal. So that's going to be a pain to take out.
It was not an easy one to do, this one. Yeah, it was a very painstaking procedure, this one. You can see it's mobile as well. Now, sometimes that's both a blessing and a curse because if it's mobile, as you try and pull it out, we know it's going to get wedged. That's what I'm doing here, is trying to kind of almost feed it out by pulling it down and forwards then out of the canal entrance.
I had a very similar thing with a patient of mine yesterday, actually. I think it was. Again, the wax was very, very deep in the ear, but it was very, very dry, and they had used oil, but it didn't really kind of penetrate the wax. And it was one of those things, you started to pull it forwards, but then anytime you just gently touched it, it was just pushing itself back into place.
Very difficult with curettage then to try and get over the top of that and pull that through. One thing that's come up a lot, guys, at the moment is I know Neil's been talking about this a lot as well, but you've got to really, if you're coming along to get wax removal done, you can see how difficult this is, and what you're doing here. There are just a spate of people getting qualified at the moment with no previous ear experience or even nursing background. Absolutely fine. You've got a medical basis there, but some of the other professions that are coming through and getting qualified to do this after just a day course. I know Neil was talking about receptionists doing this and things like that, which is just absolutely ridiculous when you think about it. So yeah, always make sure you check out who you're going to see, check out what their background is before you come along, especially here in the UK. It's just a bit of I don't want to say a shambles, but it's a little bit of a
mishmash.
Yeah, a hodgepodge of different experiences out there. So always make sure you're coming to see. Ideally, an audiologist would be the best, because obviously we've got lots of experience in the ears and things like that. So that would be great. And on that note, guys, if you are having problems with your ears, you can always check out the link tree in the bio. You come and book yourself an appointment with the amazing and lovely Mr. Taylor Green, or myself.
Lovely.
Yeah, both. I can decide.
Incredible Rhys Barber.
There you go. So you can come along and see one of us too. And don't forget, if you do enjoy the videos, you can like, heart, share, follow, and subscribe for me. That would be fabulous.
Speaking of making sure that you're qualified, I had a patient again the other day.
Yeah.
Their company was paying for the earwax removal essentially, and they wanted a list of things. So they wanted registration numbers.
Yeah.
They wanted dates. They wanted addresses. They wanted they needed to approve us first before you could come, which is good. So
you can always take a look on anyone who's a dispenser, which means you can dispense hearing aids. You're kind of like an audiologist, well, sort of. You're not allowed to call them audiologists because they're dispensers, but that kind of area. Someone a bit like myself and Taylor. If you go on a register called the HCPC, which is the Healthcare Professions Council, we should all be registered with the initials HAD in front of our name. If we are, you're dealing with an ear-trained specialist. That's a good way of doing it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I've talked all over the end of that. Again, I'm so sorry. I got my soapbox, didn't I? 5/8 inch. I'll go to the difficult ones.
I would say 1 1/4. 1 3/4.
Sorry,
yeah, 1 3/4.
I go 1 3/4 there. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching our video again today. As always, take care of yourselves.
Take care of your ears.
And take care of one another and myself and the lovely Mr. Taylor Green. We'll see you real soon. Bye.
Bye.